All right, y'all. So I'm back with another reaction video. This one is in reference to something that I like doing, and that is real estate. Now, this video is titled "The Home Flipping Ponzi Scheme Targets Chicago Families." Now, what happens here is something that I've talked about in previous videos, and I warn people. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and play the video, and then we're going to talk about it.
NBC5 responds, a bad business model or a Ponzi scheme? That's what several people who invested money with a popular Chicago home flipping business are asking themselves tonight.
The owners of iFlip Chicago are accused in lawsuits of luring inexperienced investors into predatory loans, leading to financially devastating consequences for dozens of Chicago families. PJ Rendawa unravels how things went wrong.
If you're interested in actually learning how to flip homes.
In late 2020, Amira Hadid signed up for a home flipping boot camp offered by real estate company iFlip Chicago.
iFlip Chicago boot camps is 100% hands-on.
This is something that my mom always wanted to do, and I'm a fan of HGTV.
Yeah, and it's your own cousin.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick. These shows that you see on HGTV, it's not really like that. Don't get it twisted, ever.
And who can't trust family?
My name is Ramo Bay, and it's my wife,
Michelle Nicole Bay. That's Amira's cousin, Michelle Bay. She and her husband, Ramo Bay, run iFlip Chicago. In addition to boot camps, the company offers joint venture partnerships to first-time investors who want to flip a home.
There were a lot of people who had successfully done flips with him.
Tatiana Barnett is a realtor and iFlip boot camp graduate. Both she and Amira say after the boot camp, they were recruited into iFlip's joint venture program. It was supposed to work like this. Participants would have to provide some upfront capital. iFlip would find the property, provide access to the lender, and oversee the renovation. Then iFlip would sell the home for you and take 30% of the total profit.
You don't have to worry about any of this stuff because they have all of these relationships.
To get financing through iFlip's preferred lender, Ramo Bay told the women his name had to be on their loan.
Being in real estate, it's not something that's unheard of if you don't have a track record of doing, fix and flips with lenders.
At closing, each woman hired iFlip's preferred real estate attorney, Alex Ranja, to represent them. But Tatiana says Ranja never showed up at her closing. They didn't know it yet, but in hindsight, this is where they say things went terribly wrong. Buried in the hundreds of pages of documents they signed during closing were 4 sentences in the loan agreement that put them on the hook for Ramo Bay's debts. It was part of a cross-default and collateralization clause that meant if Ramo went delinquent on any of his own loans, the lender would charge what Ramo owed to the loans he held with other iFlip participants, like Amira and Tatiana.
And Ramo had several past due balances.
The women's loan documents show they were charged thousands in cross-interest fees, all transferred from Ramo's delinquent loans.
This was never about flipping property. This was about taking loans out to pay a debt. That didn't belong to us. The loans then went on to fail. They were never written to succeed. They were predatory loans.
Now lawsuits recently filed by both women say iFlip lured them into a real estate investment Ponzi scheme, and the lender and real estate attorney were in on it. So instead of you getting the money to pay the contractors and renovate the home, what was happening with it?
We have no idea where the money is.
How much are we talking about here?
I have lost $169,000. I'm sorry. We are at risk of losing over $200,000.
Our desire was to elevate the Black community, rebuild and redevelop our neighborhoods.
And the Woodlawn community Ramo and Michelle claim they wanted to revitalize now has 2 more vacant and decaying homes dotting its landscape.
So this property has been this way since 2022.
Sandra Robinson lives next to the home Amira was never able to finish renovating.
It's an eyesore. I hope something gets to be done.
It's disgusting that this is 2 years later and we have no answer. We have more questions than answers.
We found at least 7 iFlip investment properties, including Tatiana's, are currently in foreclosure. In an email, Ramo Bay tells us he and his clients were a victim of predatory lending, and the cross-collateralization policy was never disclosed or explained to him at closing. He says he will go after the lender who caused all this damage. Alex Ranja's attorney tells me they will be filing a motion to dismiss the case. Ramo is still holding real estate investment seminars on Facebook and encouraging church groups to invest. PJ Randawa, NBC5 responds.
All right. So Now, this is something that I've talked about in the past when it comes to real estate investing. Now, of course, these people are, innocent until proven guilty. I'm not here to point fingers at anybody and call anybody a scammer. None of that stuff. That's not what this video is about. If you're looking for that, leave. Now, when it comes to real estate investing, this type of stuff I've seen even before we had, a lot of these guys come on the internet and start asking average people that aren't accredited investors for money. Here's the thing. If you're one of these people that just wants to give the money and say, do it for me, hey, do it for me so you can get this illusion of passive income, stay away from real estate. Stay away from it, because I see this stuff all the time. I literally just had a deal close, and I'll put the text message on the screen where the investor sent me a text message that my buyer bought, right? And he said, great, congratulations, good job. Don't forget to get a 5-star review from them. We did the math on our end and have definitely lost money on this one, but are happy for you and your clients. Like I've said in previous videos, most of these real estate investors, they suck. Okay, they're inexperienced. This particular guy, he was giving the money to a contractor and had a project manager, and they fucked them over. Okay, as soon as I walk into a property and that somebody's flipping, I can automatically see if they are a rookie or not. All you gotta do is peel back the layers. It's fairly easy to spot. And when it comes to these crowdfunding type of things, I call a lot of these investors that do this style stuff rookies also, because if they were really good at what they do and they were really legit real estate investors, they wouldn't need to come on the internet and ask random people for money. They would already have proper channels, whether these are hard money lenders, whether they would go the traditional bank route, whether they have other accredited investors that they could go to assist them with the funding, or the contractors, or anything like that. But the thing is, you have all of these people that don't want to do the work themselves. Now, if you have a mentor, right? Okay, where you're buying a property, you're spending your money to buy the property, you're spending your money, you're to pay the contractor, but you have a mentor that you're paying apart from the deal to walk you through. That's totally different. But giving people your money, like, hey, do mine, flip mine, it's a recipe for disaster. I've been a part of a bunch of deals that were like this. I was the agent on the deals, and you had these investors that were getting money from all of these other people. And in the end, the investors going to look out for themselves, and all these other people were, they ended up, on the wrong side of the deal and losing their money. And, all this stuff ends up in court most of the time. I've seen this plenty of times. And I'm telling you, if you're somebody that doesn't want to go through the process to correctly learn it on your own, which may cause you to lose money, most people lose money on these deals. Stay out of it. Okay, this whole passive income illusion is what's landing a lot of these people in this. This is exactly what's happening. So again, if you're somebody that wants to become a real estate investor, you're going to have to take your hits, take your licks, like all of us have. I've flipped homes before. I've wholesaled homes before. I've been the agents on deals, on these type of deals. Okay, I've been doing this for over a decade. I've seen pretty much I haven't seen it all, obviously, because I learn new things all the time. But I've seen enough to know that if you don't do this stuff yourself, you're going to be on the wrong side of the deal. I've seen this happen over and over. I've mentioned it on this channel, and I've also said that the majority of these real estate investors don't know what they're doing, and they're rookies. Now, there's nothing wrong with educating people on real estate, but again, you have to, kind of be skeptical when you have a successful real estate investor asking people for money on the internet. Now, when it comes to And I'm speaking in reference to residential. Commercial is a totally different monster. Those deals are a lot bigger. But again, anybody that is a real estate investor that really does this will go to people that are accredited. And these accredited people, 9 times out of 10, are not on the internet looking to learn how to flip real estate, because they're already educated in the space. Okay, so like if there was a deal that I couldn't fund myself, there are people that I can go to that aren't on the internet, that are hard money lenders, they're private money, or they're real estate investors themselves, and they just happen to have the cash to be able to help me out if I need it. And this should be the case for every real estate investor. If it's somebody that needs money, you got to question it. They aren't really who they say they are, because if they are as good as they say they are with flipping real estate, they don't need the average person's money. And that's just real.